Women have 85% of consumer spending. Women spend money all the time. You spend money on hair dye, you spend money on Botox, you spend money.
You should think about it. I sure am.
I remember watching, there was one panel with like Pearl and Destiny, and I think Destiny's wife or girlfriend at the time. And I remember Pearl kicked someone out. She kicked them out because they were being too aggressive. And I think there needs to be more conversation around specifically how white women think that because they're not screaming, that they're not being violent. Right, because Pearl will come on the internet and try and actively strip away the rights of women. She will say some of the most vile, dehumanizing things about women, which she is a part of. And then anytime someone raises their voice or says anything mean to her, she goes into this meek, mild, I'm just a little dainty woman. Even though what she's saying is dangerous. And her response to what that woman was saying, like that woman was quoting statistics and really majority of the debate just owning Pearl, asking her where she was getting her numbers from. But this is what Pearl had to say about the entire thing.
I sort of froze up on stage because I gotta be honest, I'm not really used to dealing with a lot of women that are that level of like mean and bitchy. She just screams at me. And so I just kind of froze, right? Anna essentially is a DEI hire, and she has no idea she's a DEI hire. She thinks that she's gotten these positions because she's really smart, but it's really just because she's a woman and she was cute when she was younger. Now she's gay, right?
And like all of her viewpoints are extremely misogynistic. She can sit there and say she used to be cute, she used to be attractive when she was younger. But when the other woman does it, now it's low blows, now it's too far. She can come on the internet and scream about men's rights and wanting men to have more rights and how hard women make men's lives. While she lies about the statistics, makes up fake numbers just to try and prove a point to Grift. And now the thing is that her viewpoints will have people unalived, but to her, they're not violent, right? And I find that super conservative or super leaning, like extremely MAGA, like that whole group can be outwardly hateful, vile, dehumanizing to others. But then if you give any amount of the energy back, and the term for this is DARVO, deny, attack, reverse victim offender, they start to feign innocence. And I bring this up to kind of draw a parallel to what I hear a lot of Black women talking about, not feeling safe with white women and feeling more safe with men than white women. Because this happens all of the time, even in the workplace, where they can say some racist, bigoted, horrendous things. And then when they even just, what usually happens is if anything comes of it or they say anything, if the Black woman says anything, then the white woman goes into this, it's called white woman tears, where it's just like breakdown because, oh my God, I just feel targeted and this is just so hard and I just didn't mean to. But the words themselves are inherently violent. And like Pearl comes on the internet and advocates for the dehumanization of women. And then when she receives exactly that, she crumbles. And that's the thing, so many times, even on my last account, when people were talking about Pearl, I was like, I would never ever debate Pearl. I would treat her the way she wants to be treated, which is like an object. Women like Pearl advocate for women to be seen, not heard, while building a platform trying to be heard. And calling that woman a DEI hire when you are the DEI hire for men to advocate for their rights. Or more particularly, what she tries to advocate about is their lack of rights. Which is really funny because when we go back and we look at like COVID, during lockdown, during vaccinations, it was the first time you ever heard men so loud about body autonomy. And it was because it was the first time that white men specifically ever felt like their rights were infringed upon because they were supposed to get a needle to be in public spaces to save other people's lives. That was the first time in their entirety of their existence that they felt like their rights were being infringed upon and their body autonomy was being violated in some way. And it wasn't even mandatory. It wasn't you have to get it. It was you have to get it if you want to go out and do social things like go to restaurants or be on planes.